Okay, hello everyone. It is Tuesday, February 4th, 2014, and thank you so much for getting on the call tonight. We're going to take about 20 minutes of your time, but I will hang on towards the end to be able to answer any questions that you have.
Beverly Koenig.
Hello, Beverly. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So we're going to cover fundraising tonight. So those of you, maybe you've never done a fundraiser before, maybe you've thought about it, maybe you don't know how to proposition someone for it. We're going to try to cover all your questions that you posted on the team page. But, why do you do fundraisers? What's the point of them? Well, it's a really great chance to give back to your community. Fundraisers help grow your business. You can gain recruits, book more parties, and generate repeat customers. You have to reach outside your circle of friends. It's really great, though, because others will be working your business for you during the fundraiser. So your first step is to plan. Who? You're going to write down the names of the organizations around you that currently do fundraisers. For example, maybe it's some local schools, churches, maybe it's a pet rescue group. Whatever you're involved in or your kids are involved in, there are plenty of things around you in your community where they are constantly raising money for something. And it could even just be an individual person. Who would you speak to regarding fundraisers? So a lot of times I will call schools to find out who the fundraising chairperson is and send a proposal letter to them. But just find out when you're calling these places, ask who's in charge of fundraisers, and then let them put you in connect you with the right person to talk to. You want to get a fundraising packet together. And the resource tab on your workstation has some really, really great tools for you to be able to put the proper things in a fundraising packet. One of the first things you want to put in there is a fundraising welcome letter. And you can also put your own letter stating what the organization stands to gain from doing their fundraiser through you, how the payment should come in, and when you will donate the money, et cetera. Give them all the details. You also want to make sure you're including the donation amount and the top seller prizes, if you're offering that. And be sure to use the showcase brochures. Those are the best things to use. Now, it could be a little bit confusing because a lot of times people ask, can I just do a fundraiser using the regular catalogs? Of course you can. If it's a smaller fundraiser, I currently have one going for a halal here in Houston. They're trying to raise money to go to a competition in Florida, and it's about 15 people. You can absolutely just use the catalogs. The thing I like most about the showcase brochures versus using a catalog is that it shows everything laid out really nice in a simple format where it doesn't get really confusing, and none of the multi-packs or combine and saves are shown in the catalog and in the showcase brochure. Now, the reason why they do this is because it's bringing more money to the organization. If they are paying $5 a bar, you're getting more money for the organization. So I always enter them as $5 each, unless they specify and they know they've bought Cincy in the past and they put an MP-6 thing of bars for $25. Then I'm going to enter it the way they wrote it on the order form. But the showcase brochure is really great. I put my label on the front of each fundraising showcase brochure, and I put 2 Rub and Smell stickers on the front of each showcase brochure. And the reason why I do 2 is because I usually do one type of food scent and one type of either fruity or clean. I'm showing them 2 different opposite smells right there on their showcase brochure that they can rub and smell and share with the people that are buying from the fundraiser. So you have to make sure that you are available to do this fundraiser when they are. You have to always be open and remember that the customer is always right in this case. And I'll get into more about that in just a minute. Try to start the fundraiser around the 1st of every month if you can. Suggest keeping it open for no more than 3 weeks. I usually run mine for about 2 weeks, so customers can receive their product in a timely manner. If they prefer to keep it open longer, then you can discuss that with them for other options a little bit later on. So what I did for this one that I just closed for a high school here is, of course, every time you do a school, you're always going to have students that turn in orders after the deadline. And it became a little bit challenging for me because our cutoff date was the 28th of the month of January, and we kept getting straggling orders in all the way up till Friday, which was, of course, the end of the month. We couldn't do anything about it. So what I ended up doing was closing the first fundraiser, and I immediately opened up a second one that will be turned in February. That way I could go ahead and get the customers' orders processed that had paid, and now I'm going to put the second one in tomorrow, and that way everybody's getting their products in a timely manner. A lot of times when people order from a fundraiser, they forget. Too much time goes by. And so you really want to be effective when you're turning in your fundraiser orders on time and getting them back to the organization. Make sure you're coordinating with them on where you will meet to drop off the fundraising packets to get the people involved. Explain to them what the purpose of the fundraiser is. So the approach that you're going to do when you're calling this organization ahead of time to plan your meeting, let the organizer know that you have a great fundraising idea that will help them exceed their goals for the year. The most important thing I can tell you to do is be confident. Your energy and confidence will spread to the person that you were talking to. It was very similar to that American Idol video that I posted on the page the other day, talking about energy and your confidence and your passion and letting people hear and see that. It really, truly does make a difference. Set a date and time to bring a fundraising package to them. Let them know that you won't take up too much of their time, and set a date and time to discuss the fundraiser at a later date if needed. But don't let too much time go by before contacting them again. It's very important to stay on top of the fundraiser. It's very important to be very organized when it comes to fundraisers. You have to be writing everything down, even down to the details of how many fundraising packets did you leave them? What days are you going to contact the coordinator? Just be very organized about writing everything down. You immediately have to set your fundraiser up online on your website. And you have to make sure you have plenty of labels, join brochures, host brochures, catalogs, and thank you notes ready before closing your fundraiser. That's a really great way to stay on top of it. Try to close your fundraiser all at once. So you've got everything in, but sometimes it happens, like with my previous one, I had to create a second one and immediately get it set up on my website. So you just kind of roll with the punches, and if curveballs are thrown your way, don't let them see that you're stressed or concerned about it. There's an easy solution to it, okay? You want to be able to keep the fundraiser as simple as you can for these people and make them do very little work. You want to do all the work for them. So the date is already set for you to come pick up the order forms. Place your orders immediately. Do not sit on these. You need to get these entered right away to get the fundraiser turned around fast. If the organization wants to keep the fundraiser open for longer than 2 to 3 weeks, make different arrangements with them. You can arrange to meet with the coordinator once a week or more to gather more order forms and money that have already been received. But again, place those orders ASAP as they're coming in. Don't wait until the very end to put them in. Try to enter them as you can, because the system, especially if you have a tax exempt, like for a school, you guys, it's very important to put you as the hostess, and then you create a guest cart. So, like for example, mine was for Clements JROTC. I was the hostess, and then I created a cart, a customer's name as Clements JROTC. All of the customers that bought with cash and check are tax exempt. They're technically buying it from the school. So you have to enter everybody's information and items that they bought under that one shopping cart under Clements JROTC. So you're not going to have individual customers' information when it's a tax-exempt fundraiser. You can go on later and create and add your contacts to your newsletter from those order forms, but you have to have it all in one basket in order for it to be tax-exempt. If you do accept a credit card for a payment for a tax-exempt fundraiser, you're going to pay taxes on it because technically they are buying it from you. The payment is not going to the school at that point if it is a credit card. So I had to pay out about $30 of my pocket to cover the tax on some credit card orders that were accepted on a tax-exempt fundraiser through the school. So once all your orders, you're tracking it on your workstation and you know when it's about ready to arrive, call the organization and set up a delivery date. Now, when your order comes in, this is when organization is key. I set everything out on the tables, all the bars by one type. I stack them up, all the full-size warmers, the premiums, the deluxe, the element, the plug-ins. I sort it by product. So everything's laid out nice and neat, and it's easy to collect everybody's orders. You want to label every item that comes in with your sticker. You have to leave a paper trail back to you. You don't know if this customer has bought it for Aunt Sue, that they're giving it to. You don't know whose hands it's going to end up in, and there needs to be a way that they can contact you if they need more. Make sure you're packing the orders with Cincy Love and Care, your SLC. In each bag, place a thank you card or a catalog or join and host brochures. Make sure your contact info is loud and clear. You want repeat customers who love your product, right? Tie up the bags with a cute, I use curling ribbon from the dollar store, purple and green. And the reason why I do that is, A, it looks really cute, but B, it's really important to make sure nothing can fall out of those bags. You don't know whose hands these bags are going in, and it keeps everything in the customer's bag. You can even tie a sample to the ribbon on the front. Put the orders in boxes labeled with the seller's name. So something that I do is on each person's bag, I will write the customer's name, and on the bag itself, I will also write the seller's name. Or if it's a classroom, I'll even put the period, like if it's period 2. I overdo my labeling because it needs to be able to have a quick and accessible. If it gets lost, you need to find out where it goes quickly for the person that is putting them together and getting it to the students or to the sellers. You want little work for your organizer as possible. So what I do is I write on the flap of all the boxes, I'll write the seller's name, I'll underline it, and I will write each customer's name that they sold to underneath that seller and the contents in that box. So they know that Joe Smith sold to Sally Smith, Heather Gorsuch, and so on. It'll all be on the flap of the box. So I know exactly whose customers' bags are in what box just by the flap, and the seller's name is right above it. So this will keep the delivery process simple and very organized, and your organizer will thank you for keeping it easy for sure. Okay, you can also, it depends if you want to offer, with fundraisers, you do get hostess benefits. You are earning free and half-price items. So it is up to you if you decide to give that to the organization or not. One of the things that I usually do is I give the free and half-price items to the organizer or the organization. One of the things I love doing the most is letting them have that free and half-price because, especially if it's a school, because a lot of times they have different events throughout the year where they can create cute little baskets or silent auction baskets with all the free and half price. Lehua Elementary in Hawaii, they ended up ordering plugins with all of their free and half price and gave it to the staff, teacher appreciation. So there's a bunch of different ideas that they can do with the free and half. For the very first time, this last fundraiser that I just closed, I actually kept the free and half price for myself, which was amazing because it creates my inventory getting larger, and I did it for free and half price. So it's totally up to you whether you want to give the hostess benefits to your organizer. And depending on what level you're at, so if you are an essential consultant, your commission rate right now is 20%. So you can't offer 25 and 30% because you're not making that just yet unless you're selling $2,000 a month. So every time a consultant sells, no matter what level you are, if you sell $2,000 in a month, you're going to get a 5% higher percentage on your commission. So if you are a certified consultant, you will be making or higher 25%. If you sell $2,000 or more, you will be making 30% commission. So what I do is when I go in with my fundraisers, I don't dare tell these people that I put in over $2,000 a month in sales. I don't tell them that. I tell them your fundraiser starts out at 25%, and once you sell $2,000, your organization sells $2,000, you can earn an additional 5% for your organization. You've now bumped up your percentage to 30%. Now, you don't have to give all of the commission to them. And I donate, so all the supplies and all the showcase brochures and all that I'm buying, the envelopes and order forms, I use as a tax write-off. So let's say you're a certified consultant, you're making 25%, and you want to offer 20% to the organization. That's perfectly fine. That way you're keeping that 5% for yourself to cover your business expenses for order forms, catalogs, the showcase brochures, envelopes. It's totally up to you. With you being an independent consultant, you can give 10% if you wanted to. Now, 10% is not really going to wow a lot of people with the competitive fundraisers that are out there. So that's one reason why I do offer the most that I possibly can, because I want them to continue to use me and refer me to other companies. So I always offer the 25%. I eat the supplies, and if they sell over $2,000, I'll give them an additional 5%, but I make them do the work. Okay. Don't forget to keep track of all your records and incentives that you're giving for the fundraiser. So if you are offering incentives, what I usually do is I'll go buy a gift card, a Visa gift card for the first, second, and third place of the top sellers. And if it's a classroom, I'll usually give a pizza party to the winning class. And that is something that is out of my pocket. You could even use the hostess benefits if you wanted to be able to give that to the top sellers as well, too. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute. I've got a little bit of background noise here. Okay. I don't know if that worked or not. Can y'all second. Can y'all just push *6 to make sure you're muted? Okay, perfect. So it's totally up to you if you want to decide to what type of incentive you want to offer, but I'll tell you, if you are doing a school, you've got to offer something to get these kids motivated. All of them want to try to win something for free. So keep track of your rewards and incentives. They're all tax deductible. If you do get a donation from somebody, get the receipt for that as well. If maybe you can find some local businesses to donate something to the top sellers. Track your mileage and keep your receipts for the fundraiser business supplies as well. It is absolutely crucial that you give the best possible customer service so your newfound friends will always come back to you. You know how much of a blessing Cincy has been to you, so use that mentality to give back. Remain positive no matter what the circumstances are. And a great example of that, and I was sharing it before we started the recording, was we had this fundraiser for this high school. I get there, you guys. We've got close to $5,000, $6,000 in orders by the time it was all coming in. I get to the school and find out that the school has a policy where they have been screwed in the past and they want to keep their 30% up front. Well, you all know as Cincy consultants that we have to pay full catalog price and we get paid on our commission on the 10th. So that put a little damper. I was very stressed out and very, worried. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to cover this money to wait for this product to come in. I'm not going to get my money back till the 10th, but it all worked out. I never once showed the school that it was a stressful situation. We can take care of it, problem solved. So it's just really important to remain positive no matter the circumstances, what comes your way. If you're going to do a school, now this is really important. I would highly recommend that you either borrow or buy, and I would recommend buying your own because you don't want to be responsible for another consultant's mini testers. I invested in six bags of mini testers, and I gave the option to the students. They could bring $25 cash in an envelope with their name and their period, and they could put down a deposit to take these bags of mini testers home with them. I had 7 kids end up checking out mini testers and taking them home to their parents so they were able to smell the different scents and go through it and share them with the people buying. It was very effective. And another thing that I did is I went to each classroom. I set up a little mini display like I was doing a home party and ran through the products with the kids, show it how they worked, had them come up, put their finger in the wax to play in it. That was a little fiasco, but it taught the kids. They remembered it. They knew it's not going to burn them. I was basically teaching these kids how to sell our products and what's so great about them in about a 30, 45-minute time span per classroom. I had a set of mini testers with me that day. So as soon as I got done with my speech, teaching them stuff, they had about 15, 20 minutes to go through my mini testers, smell all the different scents, and write down what their favorites were. Because I knew that people were going to be asking, well, what was your favorite scent? And I wanted them to be able to tell them what their favorites were. They tried the lotions, the body butters. In this fundraiser, usually you sell pretty much of the same kind of items. Y'all, I sold everything from Scentsy Buddies all the way down to lotions, shower gels, body washes, you name it. It was such a variety of products that I sold this fundraiser because all the kids had their hands on them. They got to try them. I think that's really important. And you can do the same thing with your parents as well. So first question is, how does the money work? Does it come from your commission? And then do you write a check out to whoever the fundraiser's for? Absolutely. So when you're doing a fundraiser, that's why you want it to start in the beginning of the month, so you can close it out mid-month before the end. You can inform them that you get paid on the 10th and that you will cut a check once you've transferred that money to your checking account, which takes about 3 to 5 days, depending on what bank you have. Usually mine takes about 3. So I informed the school that I will be cutting them a check, and they would get it in their hands roughly around the 15th, is what I told them. You absolutely want to write a check always to the organization for their commissions for your commissions that you're donating, because you need to have it for your tax purposes. What supplies do I need for a preschool fundraiser? You need the fundraising brochures, the fundraising envelopes. You need to have a welcome letter in there, scent samples galore, your labels galore. And then I have a little letter. I'm going to post all this stuff on the team site after we're done, some sample letters that you can use. What is the best way to ask to do a fundraiser? What items info should be in a presentation folder for a fundraiser consideration? The best way to ask to do a fundraiser is just straight up ask them, do you currently do fundraisers? Are you looking to raise more money? If it's a cheerleading squad, do you need more? Or do y'all ever do fundraisers for uniforms or a special competition? It could be for anything, you guys. Just start out by asking, do you currently do any fundraising? How do you start promoting them? The best thing that I can tell you to do is start spreading the word and asking around what kind of organizations their kids are in, what your children are in. Anybody that you know, put it on Facebook. Say, do any of you have children in any type of sport or activity that requires fundraising? Just straight up ask them. And then the percentage depends on what level you're at. If you're either certified or essential, you don't want to be giving more than what you're making. So be aware of what your commission is at, and it is determined by you on how much you want to give. Okay, so we're going to open up for questions really quick. Just push *6 to come on, and we'll take a few questions before I stop the recording. Just push *6 to unmute to ask.
So, Heather, you said, you get gift cards for the top 3 sellers at whatever the fundraiser is?
Yes, I do.
For the kids? Where do you usually get the gift cards for, Best Buy or something like that?
I usually buy a Visa gift card. That way they can utilize it and use it wherever they want to. For an elementary school, you could do a Toys R Us gift card, a GameStop gift card. Just try to meet your clientele, whatever they are interested in the age bracket. Just pay really close attention to that. I usually stick with the Visa ones just because it's universal and can be with any age, and they can use it wherever they want to.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
Heather, on that same note, what denominations do you do for the gift cards for first, second, and third place?
Okay, so I did, this past classroom was 100 students selling, and they're high schoolers. So I had to kind of grab their attention. So I did for this one, I did first place $100, second place $50, third place $25, and then I did a pizza party to the winning class that sold the most. And then some classrooms had 12 kids in it, some class had 30 kids in it. So what my husband decided to do was say, let's take the average of sales overall. That way it's even. So if you have a classroom that's got more students, the kids with less students is obviously going to have a disadvantage. So we're going to take the average and determine which class sold most that way to get to award the pizza party.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you guys, you can utilize the custom warmers too. The custom warmers is a really great way to do a fundraiser as well. So if you've got an organization that wants to create their own design, you can just straight sell the custom warmers for $50 a pop. You don't have to necessarily use the showcase brochure. So depending on who your crowd is and your clientele is, and if you think it's a go-getter and they'll be able to sell a lot of those custom warmers, just do a fundraiser with that. It's totally open and endless of the possibilities of what you can sell and how much you want to give to help out.
Heather, I'm glad that you said that about putting that all under the one name, because I wasn't even realizing that she said that. I'm sure I knew that. It just kind of slipped my head, but that was a good reminder, so thank you for saying that.
Oh, yeah, it was a big mess. I'd gotten an email, and it gets very confusing when you're doing a tax exempt, so you have to be really careful. And it was a good reminder for me when I was entering, because the more people's items you enter in the cart, I don't know if you've recognized this, but the longer the system slows down. It starts really bogging down when you start getting 200-something items in one cart. It's a very slow process. So something that I even did is I told the kids, guys, every Friday's turn-in. You know, just as long as you can turn them at any time during the week, I'll come collect them every Friday. So give them to your teacher on Tuesday or Wednesday. If they come in, that would be great. Just make sure your name and your period is on every order form. So something that really helped me out was if the kids obviously didn't write that on there, the teacher wrote it down there on the bottom for me. So every student, that order form that came in, I had the seller and the period of the order on the order form that it went to. And then I got brown manila envelopes. I wrote period 1. I wrote the seller's last name, the amount, which was in PRV, not with tax or anything. So if it was a $30 warmer, I would just write $30. I would write the customer's name that bought it, and I would put on the far right-hand side a little square, and I would write entered, and I would put a check in the box if I entered it into the system. So there was very little room for error. I knew exactly who sold it on the order form. If I entered it into the system, it was entered, and I checked the box. And then now I have all the totals of what kids sold the most on the front of my envelopes, and I'm not having to thumb through order forms and try to find, who sold the most, adding them up. It's all on the front of my order form, my envelope, my brown envelope. So it was very organized, and I'll try to take pictures so you guys can see it and get a good visual. I know I'm a visual learner, so it's better for me to see things. So I will post pictures of that on the team page. But organization is the key, you guys. And it's really important to stress to all your fundraiser sellers, you don't have to have them local. Use your Facebook. If you just share my website, all your family and friends can go out of town and buy from my website. You just have to tell me what their name is that bought it. And so they came back, and on their envelope they would write on the front, Susie Smith, online order. So I knew that Johnny sold to Susie Smith on my online order that was attached to my open fundraiser. So it's very easy to track, but there's no way to specify what student they bought from when it's online. So you have to put that on the seller and say, listen, you're not going to get credit for it unless you tell me that your Susie Smith bought it. If you can just give me her name, I can link it to you because I can see she bought online. I just don't know that that's your aunt. So just put that on your sellers to make sure that they're really following up with the people out of state, because I think we ended up getting an extra $400 just from out-of-state orders that people bought online. And if you need an extra perk, especially for schools, you guys, this is something that I've done in the past, and it's been very successful. So we run the fundraiser for 2 weeks, okay? They know it's all over. Well, what happens in about a month from now when all these people need more wax? I tell the school, you know what sets me apart from all these other fundraising opportunities is you go in here and you're going to buy gift wrapping and cheap little trinkets. They're not getting good quality items for their money. I can guarantee you that these people are going to get a good quality product that have a manufacturer warranty on everything that they're buying. And guess what? When the fundraiser closes in 2 weeks and you get your check on the 15th, I'm going to set up another fundraiser every single month on my website. And if any orders come in from months to come, so let's say in August, somebody comes and buys under the fundraiser, I'm going to cut you a check every month on the 15th, and let's just make this an ongoing fundraiser. These people are buying a good quality consumable item. I'm going to continue giving to your organization for the rest of the school year just so we can get you some more money. That sets you apart from everybody else as well. Anybody else have questions?
Hey, Heather, I have a question.
Yes, darling.
Okay. I'm kind of confused, and I specifically listened to this because I'm not necessarily understanding fundraisers, but I don't understand, like, how you're supposed to be technically making money off of it if you're having to pay for tax and do the gift cards and all that kind of stuff.
You are not making money off of fundraisers unless you're keeping a percentage to cover those expenses. So if you're making 25% and you only want to offer 20% to the organization, you can. It's totally up to you the amount that you want to donate. With fundraisers, you're not necessarily getting a monetary benefit. You can keep the hostess benefits for yourself to get you inventory to build it even bigger. But number one is you're getting your name out there. Like, I probably have 300 new contacts that just bought from this fundraiser, y'all, that I'm now going to be their Cincy consultant. I have all their contact information. Because what I do before I send my packets out, I go through on every single order form, and I highlight the information I want to collect from each person on the order form. I highlight name, address, email, phone number, and name. So when they see it highlighted on the order form, they immediately know I need to fill out all of these squares, all of this information. Now, sure, some people came back and they didn't want to give me their email. That's fine. But it was very few. I probably have 98% of the order forms with every person's information on it that I can now add to my newsletter. So you want to be really good about preparing your paperwork and getting it organized. On the last 2 copies of the receipt, on the very last copy, I printed these tiny little small labels, y'all. It's like the return address labels you get at Walmart. Well, what I did is I typed my name and phone number really small and put 2 on each label. So I cut the label in half with scissors, and then I put my name and phone number on the last copies of the receipt. So they had my contact information on the receipt. And it was highlighted. I highlighted key things on the participant letter to each person. There was rub and smell stickers, and my stickers were on the brochure and on the envelope. I highlighted seller's name. I want these people to know that this has to be filled out. Your name has to be on this envelope. So you've got to be really organized about collecting the information, because in the end, that's going to be worth way more money than what you would have gotten in commission on this order. Anybody else?
Heather, you're taking pictures, like you said, you're a visual learner. You're taking pictures of all of this, correct, and putting it up on the site?
Yes, I will take pictures. I have my brown envelopes of my showcase brochures, of the order form, the letter, and then I'm going to put up the letters and stuff like that on our Facebook page as well.
But of where you were talking about, like where you put the stickers and where you're talking about the highlighting and all the things that you've been like emphasizing that you're talking about, you have that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can make it your own, too. I will post a picture of it. But you basically need to ask yourself, what is the most important information I need to get from this customer on this order form? Well, it's their contact information. If something's really important to you that you need from that person, highlight it so it draws attention to it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. But I'll tell you what, when they get my packets, they see how much time and effort I put into it, into each kid's packet, has love and care and organization to it, and they appreciate that even more. Now, some kids don't do crap with it, and they end up not selling a thing. But we really stress, whatever you don't sell, make sure you're returning the order forms. I spent $200 in order forms alone for this fundraiser, and I got the majority of them back. But not all the times you won't. So be prepared if you want to maybe, if you don't have a lot of money, go to Office Depot. You have your rewards card. If you go online, you can register up to however many credit cards you own, including your Cincy Pay card at Office Depot, and you will get cheap copy prices. If you feel more comfortable in just Xeroxing order forms and sticking, 10 in each kid's order form, you can do that. An envelope. Then do the Xerox copies, but you're going to have to come back and handwrite them on an original receipt to give them multiple copies. It is law. If you look on the bottom, you have to provide multiple copies of that receipt to that consumer. Anybody else?
Heather, I would just want to add something. It's Maddie.
Oh, hey, darling, yes.
Hello. Hey, I just wanted to say that organization is, it's not only for them, but that's what got me, I've been doing a fundraiser for a high school, and that's what got me, them to do it multiple times. This year I did seniors, and it was a whole senior class for a fundraiser, and the lady that was in charge of it said, I'm definitely using you next year just because it was so organized and I didn't have to do a thing. So,
yeah, it's very true. That's what they love.
Yeah, that it's not just for them to find it, but it's also a way to sell yourself. And somebody had asked if you make anything off it. During my period where I did it, it was actually qualifications for the trip. And I did 2 fundraisers during that time. So I didn't per se make money, but I did make points really easy because of the amount of money that I put in. And I did keep my inventory also, so I turned around and sold it at events. There's also been I've gotten repeat customers because of it all the time.
Absolutely. And it's in the long run. Madi, had it not been so organized, that led you to multiple fundraisers at the same school, which is incredible.
Yes.
And being able to sell that product at full retail value.
School.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But it's important for people to see that because you don't want to make your organization do any of the work. It literally, you have to do everything. And it's a lot of work, y'all, but it is so worth it, trust me. That is many trips that I've earned in the past is because I've done fundraisers for schools and organizations, cheerleading teams, halaals. You name it. I've done them for individual people before. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thing. If you can just create the excitement and let them see the passion and get behind your cause, they're going to support you in every way that they can. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Hey, Heather, I just want to add one more thing.
Yes, please do.
I just want to give you guys an idea. One of the things that got me a fundraiser is I actually photoshopped one of the custom warmers, and I put the high school logo on it. And I took it to a high school, and that's what made them want to do it, is because they saw their logo on a warmer, and they were just like, wow, we can get that. We can get our own logo on it. So I just want to throw out that idea. If you guys maybe can get one of the get their logo on a custom warmer on a piece of paper, take it in and sell it to them that way, because it's, a lot of people get excited that they get their own, high school warmer.
Absolutely.
Or whatever the organization may be.
Absolutely. And I encourage you all to sign up for the Scent Warmer of the Month, because the next warmer coming is going to be a custom warmer. And it is going to have our 10-year anniversary on it, but it is magnetic. It does come off. So you at least will be able to show them what it looks like and be able to present that to them. So it's crucial. I definitely would sign up for the Scent Warmer of the Month. Plus, you're going to get an additional warmer that Cincy chooses to send you in the box as well. So it's a great month to make sure you're enrolling in that. All right, guys, well, we went over, doubled our time, but that's okay. It was a great call, lots of information. It's a lot to cover in 20 minutes, so I hope we covered every area we could for you. We will see you next week on the training call on Tuesday. Make it a great week, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.